The second week of August 2014, a week etched in memory, a week where joy and sorrow intertwined, a week where the world grappled with unrest, conflict, and loss. From the streets of Ferguson to the battlefields of Iraq, from the comedy clubs of America to the hospitals of West Africa, a tapestry of human experience unfolded. This is a reflection on that week, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of adversity. This essay delves into the events that shaped this pivotal week, exploring their lasting impact on the world. It examines the unrest in Ferguson, Missouri, sparked by the tragic shooting of Michael Brown, a stark reminder of the deep-seated racial tensions that continue to plague America. Ferguson, Missouri, a small city that would soon become a symbol of a much larger struggle. Nestled quietly in the heart of America, Ferguson was like many other towns, with its own unique charm and challenges. But in August 2014, it was thrust into the global spotlight for reasons that would shake the nation to its core. A city thrust into the global spotlight. The eyes of the world turned to Ferguson as international news reporters descended upon the city, capturing every moment, every cry for justice, and every clash on its streets. Headlines screamed of unrest, and the name Ferguson became synonymous with a deep-seated issue that had long been simmering beneath the surface. The shooting of Michael Brown, an unarmed black teenager, by a white police officer ignited a firestorm of anger and grief. Michael Brown's death was not just another statistic, it was a catalyst that brought to light the pain and frustration of a community that had endured systemic injustice for far too long. His memorial site became a gathering place for those who sought to honor his memory and demand accountability. Protests erupted, demanding justice for Brown and exposing the raw wounds of racial inequality in America. The streets of Ferguson were filled with voices chanting for change, for recognition, and for an end to the discrimination that had plagued their lives. These demonstrations were not just about one incident, they were about a history of oppression and the urgent need for reform.
The streets became a battleground. Protesters faced off against a heavily armed police force, and the tension was palpable. The air was thick with the cries of those demanding justice and the shouts of law enforcement trying to maintain order. It was a scene that highlighted the deep divide between the community and those sworn to protect it. Tear gas filled the air. The acrid smoke became a symbol of the lengths to which authorities would go to suppress the voices of dissent. Protesters, many of whom were peaceful, found themselves engulfed in clouds of tear gas, their eyes burning and their resolve tested. Yet they stood firm, determined to be heard. The world watched in disbelief as a nation founded on the ideals of liberty and justice grappled with its own demons. From living rooms to international forums, people everywhere were glued to their screens, witnessing the unfolding drama. The events in Ferguson forced a global audience to confront the uncomfortable truths about race and justice in America. The events in Ferguson were not an isolated incident. They were part of a broader pattern of racial injustice and police brutality that had been occurring across the United States for decades. From the streets of New York to the avenues of Los Angeles, similar protests had erupted, each one a cry for change and a plea for equality. They were a symptom of a deeper malaise, a reflection of the systemic racism that continues to permeate American society. The signs and graffiti that adorned the streets of Ferguson were not just expressions of anger, they were declarations of a collective pain and a demand for a better future. The March Against Systemic Racism was a call to action for all who believed in justice. The death of Michael Brown became a symbol of the fear and vulnerability that many Black Americans experience daily. His memorial was a poignant reminder of the lives lost and the families shattered by violence and discrimination. Mourners gathered to pay their respects, their faces etched with sorrow and determination. It sparked a national conversation about race, policing, and the use of force. Discussions that had long been avoided were now at the forefront of public discourse. Panels were convened and community meetings were held, all in an effort to address the deep-seated issues that had led to such a tragic event. The protests, though met with resistance, were a testament to the power of collective action and the unwavering pursuit of justice. The people of Ferguson and those who stood in solidarity with them showed the world that change is possible when voices unite. Their chants and marches were not just acts of defiance, they were expressions of hope and a vision for a more just and equitable society.
As unrest gripped Ferguson, a different kind of conflict raged in the Middle East. The rise of ISIS, a brutal extremist group, threatened to plunge the region further into chaos. The US, haunted by the ghosts of past interventions, found itself drawn back into the fray.
American airstrikes targeted ISIS strongholds, aiming to halt the group's advance and dismantle its reign of terror. The intervention, while presented as a necessary measure, reignited debates about the effectiveness of military force and the unintended consequences of foreign intervention. The conflict in Iraq, a country still reeling from years of war and instability, highlighted the complexities of the global fight against terrorism. It underscored the human cost of conflict, the enduring legacy of violence, and the challenges of achieving lasting peace in a region riven by sectarian tensions.
Section 4, Laughter Silenced, Robin Williams and the Shadow of Despair. Amidst the turmoil and unrest, the world was already grappling with numerous challenges. Conflicts, protests, and global turmoil seemed to dominate the headlines, painting a picture of a world in distress. Then the world received news that brought a different kind of sorrow. It was a moment that transcended the chaos of the times, touching hearts universally. Robin Williams, the beloved comedian who had touched countless lives with his infectious laughter and boundless energy, was gone. His performances, filled with wit and warmth, had been a source of joy for millions. His death, a suicide, sent shockwaves across the globe, leaving fans and admirers in a state of disbelief and sorrow. It was a stark reminder that even those who bring us joy can struggle with inner demons. The news of his passing led to an outpouring of grief and reflection. Candlelight vigils were held, and people from all walks of life came together to mourn the loss of a man who had given so much of himself to the world.
Williams's passing sparked a global conversation about mental health, bringing to light the struggles that many face in silence. It was a wake-up call for society to address the often overlooked issues of depression and suicide. This tragic event broke down the stigma surrounding mental health, encouraging open discussions and awareness. Support groups and awareness events saw increased participation as people sought to understand and support one another. It highlighted the importance of reaching out to those who may be suffering in silence, emphasizing the need for compassion and understanding. Helplines and outreach programs became lifelines for many, reminding us that behind the masks we wear, there are often hidden struggles and unspoken pain. The imagery of masks became a powerful symbol of the facades people maintain while battling their inner turmoil. We all carry our own burdens, and Williams's death was a poignant reminder of the weight that even the brightest stars can bear. It urged us to be more mindful of the silent battles fought by those around us.
His legacy extended beyond the world of entertainment. Robin Williams was not just a comedian, he was a humanitarian who used his fame to make a difference. He was a vocal advocate for various causes, dedicating his time and resources to support those in need. His efforts in raising awareness about homelessness, AIDS, and other social issues were commendable. Using his platform to raise awareness, he spoke passionately about the issues close to his heart. His involvement in social causes inspired many to take action and contribute to the betterment of society.
His death left a void in the hearts of millions, a testament to the profound impact he had on people's lives. The laughter he brought was a healing force, a reminder of the power of joy and connection. Laughter has the power to heal, to connect, and to inspire. Robin Williams's legacy is a testament to this truth, as his humor continues to bring people together, even in his absence. In the end, his life and death remind us of the importance of compassion, understanding, and the human connections that sustain us. His memory lives on, not just in the laughter he shared, but in the love and support we offer one another.
Section 5. Nagasaki's Long Shadow, a Plea for Peace. This chapter delves into the profound impact of one of the most tragic events in human history and the enduring call for peace that emerged from its ashes. As the world mourned Robin Williams, another somber anniversary approached. The juxtaposition of personal loss and collective memory serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. On August 9, 1945, the United States dropped an atomic bomb on Nagasaki, Japan, 3 days after the bombing of Hiroshima. This act marked a pivotal moment in World War II, leading to Japan's eventual surrender and the end of the war. However, the cost of this victory was staggering. The devastation was unimaginable, the human cost immeasurable. Buildings were reduced to rubble, and countless lives were lost in an instant. Those who survived faced a lifetime of suffering, both physical and emotional, as they grappled with the aftermath of the bombing.
Decades later, the scars of that fateful day remained etched in the landscape and the collective memory of humanity. The once vibrant city of Nagasaki was left with a scarred landscape, a constant reminder of the horrors that unfolded on that day. The anniversary served as a solemn reminder of the horrors of nuclear war, a stark warning against the devastating consequences of unchecked aggression and the pursuit of destruction. It is a day to reflect on the past and to renew our commitment to ensuring that such a tragedy never happens again.
In Nagasaki, a peace ceremony commemorated the victims, with survivors sharing their stories and calling for a world without nuclear weapons. These ceremonies are not just about remembering the past, but also about educating future generations on the importance of peace and the dangers of nuclear proliferation.
Their pleas resonated across the globe, urging leaders and citizens alike to choose dialogue over violence, diplomacy over destruction. The message is clear. The path to a peaceful future lies in our ability to communicate, to understand, and to resolve our differences without resorting to violence, and to work towards a future where the shadow of nuclear annihilation no longer loomed over humanity. The release of peace doves symbolizes hope and the collective desire for a world where peace prevails over conflict, and where the lessons of Nagasaki guide us towards a brighter, more harmonious future.